Hello, everyone, and welcome to Flickering Myth. We have a state of the union, basically. Yes, we're going to be diving into what the hell is going on with Marvel right now, the good, the bad, and the future. Alan Christian is joining me for this amazing conversation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited about this one, even
Well, yeah,
if
I need you.
I'm not excited about what
I
you're going to talk about.
yeah, I need you for the Marvel stuff because
Uh,
we're gonna get deep into Marvel and not just even what they're doing in the MCU currently. There seems to be actual pulling from comic books. I feel more than before.
yeah.
Would you kind of agree that it feels like the MCU is really going deep dive into comics, not just surface level, like we're taking Civil War the name, they're taking things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's deep cuts here. The TVA, we'll get into it, but the TVA and Loki, the Time Variance Authority, that's a deep cut. That's like Walt Simonson's Thor and Fantastic Four. And I don't really know if anybody else has notably dealt with the TVA. It's just kind of a joke gag, like time bureaucracy thing in Simonson's Thor and Fantastic Four. And I don't know if anybody else has touched on it, but they pulled it and fleshed it out and made it. Yeah, they're getting into some deep cuts, and they have to. They
Yeah.
have to at this point.
Well, even from what I know of comics, the Infinity Gauntlet saga is this odd deep cut within itself. It's this old comic series that kind of got brought back into this modern age in such a weird way. So they've done it before,
Yeah.
but this feels nerdier.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the previous stuff was just like entirely like Jim Starlin's Infinity Saga stuff, and that's awesome and that's great, like cosmic Marvel stuff. This is weirder.
Yeah. Like, how do you go beyond cosmic Marvel, which is what so many people think multiverse Marvel is next? So, yes, we'll talk about multiverse. So, first, we're going to start off our discussion with some Loki.
Yeah.
I originally pitched this to you as, hey, look, Loki is kind of the last thing for Marvel other than What If until Shang-Chi Eternals. So, we have a little bit of a couple months break right now. I did not know that Loki would turn into what the hell is going to happen with the future. Like, it was crazy. What are your feelings of Loki, the series as a whole?
Are we going to spoil things?
Yeah, we have to.
Okay, yeah. There's
Everyone
no
knows.
reason not to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
If you
everyone
don't,
knows Road Buzz, the sled. Come on, we're spoiling
yeah,
everything here.
if you
Kaiser
are in the
Sose.
dark right now and you're waiting to finish Loki and whatnot, turn this off. Turn this off. Come back to us later. Um, what was the question? Reorient me.
What are you thinking of Loki? How'd you feel? It is now
Oh,
done. Season
okay.
one. Season one is done. They are getting a season two. Yay! The first Marvel show
That
with a season two.
Yeah, so far, because none of the other things, everything else has been one and done. Mostly, thankfully, this is the
We'll talk
only
about it.
one that I really loved.
Yeah.
I have other thoughts on the other two, but I loved every bit of this. The ending did so much for me as a comics fan. I don't know how much it does for anybody that doesn't know who this character is. Jonathan Majors is uh, he's Immortus. He's Immortus in this. He's going to be Kang coming up. Kang and Immortus, same character. It's a
The
whole thing.
variants, because isn't
Yeah,
we'll talk about isn't there another Kang as well, like a
there's
Iron Lad one too? Like there's a lot of
yeah,
them.
yeah, and like a Kid Kang. I think that might be Iron Lad. I know a bit about it, but not like I'm not the Kang expert here.
Well, it seems like the only expert of Kang is Kang himself,
Yeah.
because we'll get straight into the finale. Most people know I watched the first couple episodes of Loki, reviewed it here. I enjoyed it. At the middle of the season, I was just like, okay, cool, I'm fine. Anytime it really wasn't Loki and or other versions of Loki, I was kind of twiddling my thumbs, like evil lady that I was just like, okay. Um,
the um
the
the
TVA run lady.
Yeah, that was she was my. I don't know if I just didn't pick up on her name for most of it, or if they just didn't bother to drop her name until later. But as soon as they were like Judge Renslayer, I mean, they might have said that, but as soon
Yeah,
as they
well,
called her
Renslayer
Ravonna,
and
yeah,
yes.
as soon as he called her Ravonna, I don't think Renslayer probably just didn't click with me. But as soon as Owen Wilson called her Ravonna, I was like, it's Kang.
Well, because we had talked about it a little bit before of what did we think the end thing was going to be, who was in the castle and all that.
Mhm.
You said Immortus quickly. I thought Kang. We were both right.
Yeah, it's
Like,
same character. I mean,
um,
Kang at the end of time
yes,
is Immortus.
yes, and we
They
got
didn't name
Kang
him,
at the actually end
which
of
I
this
thought was
episode
weird.
because he seems to be the statue man as well.
Yeah.
So what did you think of this finale though? Because this was first off, my favorite part of the finale was the Miss Minutes jump scare. Iconic. Great. One of the best moments of any Marvel for me. Hey y'all, I was like, oh shit, I legit jumped.
I did too. It was that was so good. I enjoyed that. Beginning to end, I love this. It's Jonathan Majors chewing scenery as Immortus. It's Owen Wilson having some good moments again. This, I think Owen Wilson in Loki is now my favorite Owen Wilson performance, which I like
Yeah.
Owen Wilson, but like, yeah, I think this tops it for me. It might be one of my favorite MCU performances.
I
I'm
mean,
really
this is my
thinking about
favorite of Tom Hiddleston. And I like him. I
it.
mean,
Yeah, because
I love Richard E. Grant, but last couple weeks, that's one of my favorite Richard E. Grant
oh yeah, I
performances.
agree. Richard E. Grant's classic Loki was just fantastic, wonderful casting.
Before the
Yeah,
finale, did you like the Loki, the Loki episode, basically?
yeah,
The I had such a fun Gator Loki. What a great little
yeah.
fun.
It's a
Also,
good,
we got to
good.
see Thorg or whatever his name is too, the little frog Thor. He had a small little brief moment in that episode.
Did they show that? I saw people talking about that, but I
Okay,
wasn't.
so there was a weird scene, very hereditary, where they're like kind of going from the top to the bottom, and he's kind of stuck in the middle of the ground in a jar, and he's trying to reach the hammer. It's like
Oh,
you
okay.
just see him like in the jar, just like jumping for
Yeah.
it.
Okay. I remember that sequence, but I guess I wasn't paying enough attention. I
Yeah,
should have
he's
been
like
looking for Easter eggs and missed
that was
it.
an Easter egg because did you see the Thanos copter there?
No.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go back and watch that.
the infamous Thanos copter from the comics is there, just crashed somewhere. So yes, that's a fun Easter egg episode. But that finale, I agree. Jonathan Majors, who I've loved, he's in Defy Bloods. Watch that if you want. He
I
is
need to do that still.
phenomenal in Defy Bloods. He's in Lovecraft Country. He's
Hmm.
also in The Last Black Man in San Francisco, a really good movie, kind of his indie start that was there. Really good film as well. He's
Yeah.
amazing. This though, this is, and just to think that this isn't the first time we see him. We're going to see more of him in different variants as well. And my biggest question is, how much is the next variant going to be like this one? Or is it going to be a completely different performance? Because that will blow us away. If
It,
he's
it it has to be a completely different performance because we're going to see him as Kang next. I
Mhm.
mean, as far as we know, he might pop up in like some Doctor Strange or something. I don't know. But
Well, yes,
he's definitely Kang in
Quantum
Ant-Man
Mania.
Quantumania. It's a mouthful. So yeah, that's got to be a different performance in this because Kang's brutal.
Yeah.
Kang's brutal. He's not whimsical at all. Like like this Immortus
I
here.
would like to see a through line though. Maybe a little weird moment where even creepy one gets a little fun and weird. I'm like, oh, there he is. Like I want to see
Yeah,
something that kind of keeps them kind of like the Lokis. They all had a as
yeah,
different, even when it's a man, a black dude, a gator, they all have a similar
yeah.
vibe.
I
So
want
I
to
hope
believe,
he
yeah, I want to believe it's the same character, but Immortus, the Immortus that he did in this is that king after eons of existence and just being completely bored and bemused by time never ending for him.
we also
Uh,
talked about a scene we both loved of the see you soon. One of
you
the
see,
nicest things someone has ever said that felt so creepy.
yeah. Oh my God, that was so. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite Marvel moments, the
Yeah.
MCU moments. See you soon is fucked up. I
Yeah,
like
just and then
it.
with the multiverse shattering, that it
Yeah,
was it was one of the most artistic scenes, which is nothing. I did not expect any of this from Loki. One, I thought Wanda would break the multiverse. Did not
yeah,
expect it to be Silva.
yeah.
I never would have guessed any of that. Which I'm not always the biggest like pat in the back of a Kevin Feige. He said Mephisto, bitch. I'm going beyond that. Like, so funny. We were so thinking so one way and really went a different direction. And that
Yeah,
has never happened in the MCU ever. Everyone predicted people would come back in Endgame. Like it's easy to predict. Loki's the
Yeah.
first time in a while I was shocked.
That's why I have said before that like what they're setting up for these next few phases, this next, I guess, 10-year arc is way more interesting than what they were setting up before. Um,
Well,
that's
they
not to say it's going to be better, but it certainly has more potential, I think.
which you are a great podcast host because that leads me into my next section. Let's talk about the past of the MCU. Something I had an issue with is we saw Thanos briefly in Avengers. He would
Yeah.
pop back up in this movie. I wanted to know Thanos as a character before Infinity War. I
Mhm.
liked him in Infinity War. He's a phenomenal character in that, one of the best.
Yeah. Oh,
But what we are getting to see early on with Kang could be completely different. And Kang is just the start of the villainy that we're going to get. I know he's attached to Doctor Doom. We'll talk about Kang in a little bit, but there's a lot you can do with him. But I
yeah.
do feel this is something so different. They're coming off the Infinity War, which I never thought that could be topped. I thought, honestly, after Endgame, we could have retired the MCU and they would have been great. They made billions of dollars. They're fine.
All the success, wrap it up. You could have done it.
And I did not think we can do this. And like I said in my notes, Marvel has always been a fan favorite, but I've never thought they've pushed themselves creatively,
Mm.
honestly, often. It's until this later MCU, everything post Black Panther for me is when the MCU started, maybe Doctor Strange and Black Panther is when they're starting to get weird and
Yeah.
fun and different. I hope this is that. Do you kind of agree that the past set up something, but we could have a better future?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I agree with you mostly. Like there's only like a couple of Marvel movies that I just don't like. But yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of risk taking there. There's not a lot of like, oh, I can't believe they went that way with it. Even the really good ones, like Winter Soldier's fantastic. It's it's a spy story.
You could have
It's a
told
high
you that
spy.
movie. I think Doctor Strange is one of their most experimental. It's still a MCU origin movie. Like
And by the
it's
end, you're just like, I'm still here.
yeah.
Uh,
You are Dormammu and him in that scene. Like that's what
yeah.
that movie feels like.
And I like that
Yeah.
movie.
I
Um,
like it too.
but yeah, I mean, there's way more to do with this, and I think that I, I can't say that he's going to execute it, but I think Kevin Feige has looked at what he did with what I guess they're calling the Infinity Saga and being like, I somehow have to top this,
Which
and not like
I
bigger,
never
but
want to be in that position. I
no.
oh my goodness, as a creative, it's you writing, that one great book. It's Steven Spielberg after Jaws. Can you imagine that pressure of an artist? And Feige has done this for a long period of time now. It is
Yeah.
crazy what he's sting. So let's move to the current MCU. We've
Okay.
had the we've had these big shows. This is also my kind of big talking point. This is the first big era of Disney after Fox.
Mhm.
I don't was Kang part of that deal? Was Kang over on that other side? I wonder.
No, King starts in yeah, King starts in Avengers. His first appearance is
Okay.
Avengers number 8, and Immortus is number 10 shortly thereafter. So I can't imagine he got attached to any other rights. He has a lot of Fantastic
That's
Four
the
pieces.
Fantastic
Can't
Four is
imagine
what
wrapped
it
up
would
in that.
because it's funny is we don't see him until we get a final a Fantastic Four movie on the docket. So it is interesting. So
Yeah.
we are at we're at this point. We are at the MCU shows. WandaVision, quick thoughts. What did you feel of it?
WandaVision I liked a lot until the end, and
Yeah.
then the end I disliked in a way that it kind of killed my like for the rest of it. And I overall I'm just like, it's okay, it's pretty good. I don't hate it. But
Side note though, Emmy domination though.
whatever.
I look, it's crazy for a Marvel show to make it to the Emmys. I mean, The Boys got nominated for Best Drama, so it is a
Yeah.
weird year at the Emmys. But it's crazy to see that WandaVision got that prestige. I don't think a lot of the other shows would have ever done that. I don't think
There's a
what's
lot of there's a lot of
Daredevil
well
show would
done
have done it.
things there. Yeah, that's true.
You know,
There's a lot of well done things there. So
the
I don't
respect for
I'm not
TV, the
yeah.
history of TV kind of thing and stuff.
Yeah, I liked it. Like I said, I liked enough about it that that doesn't offend me. Like,
Yeah.
cool, get your nominations. That's fun.
Well, we could talk about Don Cheadle getting nominated for Falcon and Winter Soldier while we talk about.
If anybody was going to get nominated for that show, it should be him, because
Carl Lumbly also ate that show up. He was the older black man. I forgot his character's name. He was also the best actor, but that's not hard to outact Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Bruhl is like the standout in that.
Yeah. So what did you think
we're talking about this show now.
Yeah. So what did you think of that show?
Hate it. It's the worst MCU anything. It's absolutely terrible. Absolutely, 100% bad. Not a good thing about it, except Daniel Bruhl and a couple other performances here and there.
Yeah, I think from Falcon's suit to the political messaging, which I believe I'm on the side of the show, but it's like one of those things where sometimes I hear people in my own political party speak and I'm like, oh God, I'm associated with them. And that's kind of how I felt about that. It's like, oh no, I don't want to be like a liberal.
Okay, I'm not going to get too deep into its politics and how and whether I agree or disagree with certain messages being sent, or the whatever notions that I might quibblingly disagree with. But the delivery of their politics,
yes, that's
bad.
That's yeah.
Bad. This is literally the kind of thing where, like, if I saw a bunch, and I really haven't seen people. I always see people gripe like, oh, they're just ham-fisting their politics into this. And maybe I'm just gotten off the worst parts of the internet by this point. But like, this fits that bill.
Yeah, this is Crash 2006 or whatever.
Yes, that is a good comparison. Oh my God, where it's just like, hey, just in case you didn't know, we're talking about race. And maybe,
there were subtle moments in the show that worked.
Yeah, there are subtle things, and subtlety works. You don't
need Falcon ranting for 3 minutes staring at the TV.
Oh my God, we got Falcon's conflict with holding the shield. Whenever we first saw him hold the shield and give up the shield, we got that. We got it. We got it. We didn't need it every other episode. We didn't need Bucky being there like, Steve and I didn't understand what it'd be like to give a black man the shield. Shut up.
Yeah. No, and then
that's
again,
reasonable conflict. That it's not that the idea is bad. It's the execution.
Yeah.
It's the beating you over the head with. It's like, just in case you didn't know, we're trying to make a good statement about this. Okay, all right, fine.
Yeah, I believe you guys. I totally think so. Which kind of leads me into another one. I wasn't a big fan of Black Widow. You were a bit kinder to it than I was. Actually, a lot kinder to it. Still, you weren't. Yeah, you weren't like, oh my God, change.
Yeah, I don't think we're like diametrically opposed in how we felt about it. I think we both rank it kind of middle.
Okay, just our okays are different.
Except you're like okay on the bad side, and I'm like okay on the good side. I liked Black Widow. The villain was terrible.
And not just because they changed the gender. That honestly, I mean, I knew that.
Well, Taskmaster was just a waste. Not because they changed the gender, but because that is like thoroughly not Taskmaster.
Yeah. And Taskmaster being like I don't mind Taskmaster not being the main villain because that's not really what he does, but like to not have any agency or them have not an agency just felt weird.
Yeah, especially when you're making up the main villain to begin with. Like, you could have just made everything
man?
Up.
They wanted me to care about this man, and I'm like,
What's the actor's name? He's in like The Sopranos and a lot of things. He's an Italian American, I believe.
Well, I could tell by his Russian accent.
Yeah, like he learned to speak English in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I mean, everyone's
Russian accent is bad. I forgive Florence Pugh's just because she's the most charming thing in that movie.
When I told you, I felt it was a little Moose and Squirrel, like it was a little Boris and Natasha, and it was odd. But Florence Pugh, I just felt it reminded me a lot of what I didn't like about Falcon and Winter Soldier, where I thought we were past this in the MCU. I thought these kind of political spy actiony movies were just fine, and I think what Black Widow is, I just felt this movie felt like it was from 10 years ago, not just the character. It just felt dated.
I think that there is still a place for doing like the spy and espionage stuff in this and the shield stuff. But I think at this point, you should stop trying to pull from like whatever Ed Brubaker was doing in the 2000s, which some of that's great, fine, whatever, or Brian Bendis style of that, and go back and do like the really weird, like, you can go back. There's a rich history of like espionage comics in Marvel. Go back and do like the Jack Kirby Nick Fury Agent of Shield or the Jim Steranko stuff. Like there's a lot of weird, bizarre stuff you can get into with that. And they just not touching it.
Well,
Like for all that we were thinking back and like, yeah, Hydra was a big part of the MCU. It's like, not really.
yeah.
Like we got a Hydra plot in Winter Soldier, and we have some vestiges of that, and we see them wrapping up the big Hydra thing in the opening to Age of Ultron. Like,
Yeah.
They haven't tapped those minds, and if you want to do espionage, like, do that shit. It's there.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather have watched the James Bond movie that she was watching in that movie than that. Like,
she was watching Moonraker, wasn't
yeah, which again, that's Moonraker is what I wanted from this movie. Like, it got a little
almost there, but it just didn't get silly enough.
Yeah, and that's what I was missing. Not even silly, but just a level of different, and that was my biggest disappointment. But that's kind of saying here. So all of this is happening at the same time. Loki is happening, which is starting the future in such a crazy way. I have our lineup of stuff coming. We have Shang-Chi and the Eternals this year.
Yes.
We have Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, The Marvels, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Fantastic Four, Blade, Deadpool, and a Captain America sequel with Falcon. And then on the TV
really
side,
make Anthony Mackie the lead in the movie, huh?
Yeah. And on the TV side, we have Hawkeye, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, which would be fun. I thought that would be a movie arc. I guess that is just a TV arc.
Yeah, I always thought that was going to be a movie arc. Like early on, like I was like, this person's going to end up being a Skrull. This person's going to end up being no.
Yeah, they'll make it a fun little Disney Plus series, and it wouldn't be a big thing. We might see some in it. But we're doing another secret here. The long-standing rumor that has been kind of before Loki happened, kind of around WandaVision, this started happening, and a lot of very popular people in industry, a lot of gossipy film people have confirmed it. Secret Wars is allegedly the next major arc. The 2015 arc, which only I know the older one because that's like when the symbiote suit came. There's some really fun. It's a really
trash.
It's a fun campy. I always thought it was like growing up. I always thought it was. I mean, that one iconic.
If I'd have read it as a kid, I would have probably liked it more. But I first experienced it like a reading through. Like I tied it into like some of my like Fantastic Four read throughs, and I was like, this is for 6-year-olds.
But we are doing Secret Wars 2015. Can you kind of give me a brief little of what that is, if you can easily try to explain it? That's crazy.
Okay. I think to do that, I would have to give you the basic rundown of Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four, Secret Warriors, Avengers, New Avengers. I think I can leave off the Fantastic Four, Secret Warriors. Okay. In his Avengers, New Avengers arc, in his Fantastic Four arc, or maybe right before that, I think somebody else, Galactus dies. Okay. And I think that is the trigger for the multiverse imploding on itself. And it's all imploding at Earth. Okay. Millions of Earths or tens of thousands of Earths or whatever are colliding. And if the two Earths collide, it kills both universes. So you have the Illuminati, which is Reed Richards, it's Captain America,
Strange,
Get the Conscience, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, several others, Namor.
What a great crew that is, by the way.
It is.
Intelligent douchebags.
Yeah, a bunch of assholes. Of course, Stark is there. And they are figuring out what to do about this. And they are, planning to destroy planets. And some of the planets are uninhabited, and that's an easy choice. And, these are all alternate Earths, and they're all folding in on themselves. Eventually, some shit happens. This stuff's kind of wild, and it's been a minute since I've read it. I don't remember exactly how everything stacks up, and then you get to all of these universes finally crunching, and you get Battle World, which is ruled over by Doctor Doom. Um, and that's like they're on Battle World. They're having to take out Doctor Doom, and somehow I need to like reread this just so that I actually have a better memory of it. But that's what led to the multiverse getting like the ultimate, like that's how Miles Morales is in the
Mhm.
mainline Marvel universe and all that now. That was the consolidation of the multiverses. So basically that's it. Basically we're going to have the multiverses split up, and then we're going to end up with that singularity point where they all start, caving back in on each other.
As a
That's
DC fan, it feels very Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yes, it that is what I would compare it
Yeah.
to, except I like this better.
Yeah, I like the idea of Crisis more than I like the execution
Correct.
of
Yeah.
Crisis. So everything you just said feels very interesting because it's starting. Like you can feel it a little bit there. Everything you said, I was just like, I can picture out the next 10 years as you were just saying that of like, cool, yeah, Doctor Doom, we have a Fantastic Four movie coming up. I mean, what other villain are you going to use? So I'm seeing all of this happen, and I'm like, this makes a lot of sense. So these rumors don't just feel before Wednesday, I would have been like, okay, these rumors do seem crazy.
Yeah.
Now it seems like a possibility. And does Kang play a part in any of this at all?
He's
I,
in those books, but he's not like he wasn't a huge element to it. That there's time traveling and zipping around, going around in the Avengers book. Um, but I don't remember exactly what role he played. But I know it wasn't a huge
do you
one.
think he could play the Doctor Doom role in this?
Possibly, but I think we're probably looking more to him playing the Loki role.
Okay.
And I think Doctor Doom will probably play the Doom role.
Oh,
Like
I can't wait to see who
like
they get.
Kang will, to a greater extent, he'll be a bigger villain than Loki was, but he'll to a certain extent be the Loki to to Doctor Doom's Thanos, which is that's my prediction. They can go either way with it. They've shown that they are willing to throw out source material to tell a better story,
Yeah.
and I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it and it all tracks, it all makes sense. And how do you think the players that we have now fitting in? Do you think Fantastic Four, them with their movie, they are on, they're confirmed. Do you think that is a full other step of like we're going in that direction?
I think that's going to be. I think the Fantastic Four are going to be the linchpin of this. If they're doing this, like that story starts in Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four. Like
Okay.
it really gets its roots in that book. So I think you kind of have to just root it
Yeah,
in
because
Fantastic Four.
looking at
They
it
got to be
now,
your Iron Man.
we have Immortus dying now, which spreads out all of the multiverses. The next multiverse-ish thing is the What If animated series, which they do
Mhm.
say connects to it. That's kind of like a little animated fun version of this. The
Yes,
next
good
major
idea.
thing we are getting is Spider-Man. That will be
Oh,
coming up
yeah, I forgot
next.
how much that's going to be multiverse stuff.
And now with the variant discussion, the Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield stuff makes way more sense now. It's
Yes.
all starting to, and now with Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx coming in, it's all starting to, because Jamie Foxx hinted he would not be a blue Electro, which a lot of people were like, okay, if you're going to bring him back, why not bring back the version that we know?
Yeah.
Now I can see why. We're
Yeah.
just going to get a variant version of it. I
A variant that looks better. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, this variant stuff really helps a lot of this. So yes, we have that. And then after that is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness,
Mhm.
which multiple people have confirmed is a straight up horror film. Elizabeth Olsen has said multiple times, this is old Sam Raimi. This is old Sam Raimi.
I'm excited about that.
Kang in this movie would be terrifying. But
Yeah.
yes, then after that is Quantumania with Peyton Reed having the what was supposed to be officially the first Kang appearance. Jonathan Majors was
Yeah.
confirmed to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. He just popped up in Loki. So he's
Yeah.
probably going to pop up in Spider-Man and or possibly Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'd more than welcome it. Real quick, you brought up Peyton Reed. just as a message. I don't know if this is locked, but it's been talked about. Don't let him do Fantastic Four, please.
He is confirmed.
Is he confirmed to
He is
do Fantastic
attached. Yes,
Four?
he is
Pick him
attached.
off, please. Because
But
I just want a good Fantastic Four movie. Is this too much to fucking ask? And Peyton Reed's not going to deliver because he
yeah,
can't. Oh man,
it's a honestly it's a heavy task for him to have Quantum Mania and Fantastic Four back to back.
Yeah,
That is no, sorry. Is it John Watts that has Fantastic Four?
it
Someone.
might be, and that's like almost equally as frustrating.
Yeah, I remember you not being happy with either
Yeah,
of these
no, I think it was
choices.
John Watts. Oh my god, I think it was John Watts because I think
Yeah.
they talked about doing having Peyton Reed do it, and then it confirmed it was like it's not Peyton Reed, it's John Watts, and I
It
was
is John Watts. Sorry for everyone retracting my
disappointed.
statements. It
Okay.
is John Watts, the not the director of the Ant-Man movies. John Watts is the director of the Spider-Man films. So Spider-Man. Okay, wow, that is
Which I
actually
equally hate. Actually, I hate those more because I care about
because yeah, you like
Spider-Man
okay. So
more.
yes, no, sorry for everyone. I know they were probably yelling in the comments already. So yes, John Watts is doing it, which does now make a little bit more sense. Either one, either Peyton or John Watts had that. They're dealing with a lot of multiverse stuff. They're going to have to deal with it later on. This is going to be interesting. Do you think we're going to see other characters like a Toby and or maybe even Hugh Jackman from the X-Men stay or anything like that? Do you think that's a
Um,
possibility?
I think as much as somebody might be willing to do it, like Jackman might just be like, I'm done, man.
Yeah, he's
I
like, can I
did
get
this.
fat for like a day?
But I certainly think those possibilities are open. I don't think Jackman should do it. I don't think and I don't think that Patrick Stewart should make any sort of appearance. I think they closed out their
Yeah,
performances
I agree.
perfectly fine in Logan, and I don't think you should touch that again. But yeah, obviously, like I mean, hell, we could bring back Jessica Alba.
Uh,
Hell, we can bring back Miles Teller.
no,
No, God, no, nobody wants
I
to
would
be
say, can we bring back Michael
for
Chiklis? He was so
sake.
great.
Chickless is was such great casting.
He's
Uh,
such a good thing. I kind of low key like those bad Fantastic Four movies.
I
They're so
actually, I
they're
actually like high key like the first one. I think that's a good move. I like
it's
it's a good Fantastic Four
when
movie.
I
I like
hear
things about the
you
second
guys talk about Silver Age and the fun and the campiness, that's
one.
what that reminds me of. I mean, that's what Richard E. Grant reminded me of in his Loki appearance. When I never thought that Silver Age very campy, fun, childlike fun and Marvel, I don't think that could have existed. And now I'm seeing it and it seems
Yeah.
like it's there. So kind of to finish up our state of the MCU, how are you feeling? Do you think we have a better future than what I thought even months ago? We've talked about
You've
this.
asked me a week ago, I was feeling, but now I feel positive. I feel like the introduction of Immortus slash Kang slash Iron Kid, whatever
That's everything he could do. It's amazing.
slash all of his variations, Ramatut. That's a deep cut there.
Ooh, someone just was screaming that you said that.
um um yeah, now with that introduction, oh my god, that introduction was so good. The more I thought about it, the better it was. See you soon. It's just
I mean, even that moment where he ran out of time and he found out that
yes.
he was done knowing what he did, and that was a slow zoom in on him, just
Yeah.
being like, I have no idea what's next. And that like delight and that confusion, the
Yeah.
scared.
Like, this
It's
is
one of
weird.
the best performances I've seen, and it came out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
yes, I agree with you. We are in I can't believe I'm saying this. I think we're in some good hands right now. I think possibly it's going to get bumpy. Phase one, two, three weren't perfect. There was bad, weird moments along the way.
Yeah, I mean, that Incredible Hulk movie is really bad.
Yeah.
You know, some Iron Man 2, not
Well,
everybody's
I'm
favorite.
not gonna lie.
Iron Man 3, very
I
good.
kind of think Black Widow and Shang-Chi might fall into that because they didn't have the bigger implications. Eternals, they're the ones I'm curious. We're doing a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
spacey weird stuff. I'm more curious now.
It's such a wild card.
Yeah.
I love the Eternals comic book, the original Jack Kirby one. I look at that, I don't know what they're doing with it.
Yeah.
Like, I know the plot of the Eternals, you know, but I just they haven't sold me
Yeah.
anything. Like, so when people are just like, that looks ridiculous, that looks like crap, I'm like, it doesn't
It
look
looks like
like
nothing. Yeah.
shit.
No, it just feels like the MCU really is going to kick off in December with Spider-Man now. Loki opened the door. The Spider-Man's going to kick it. And again, I'm not the biggest of these Spider-Man fans. I'm very curious now. They've
I
got me
guess
in.
like
They got me in now.
this is the first one of these. Well, I was hoping that the first one wasn't so like Tony Stark kiss assy bullshit as it was in the trailer, but now I'm actually
Yeah.
excited for
Yeah.
you
No
know,
Tony.
it does
And who
it,
knows?
they've set it up in a way that like I don't care that it's not going to be a good Spider-Man movie because it's not going to be a good Spider-Man
Yeah.
movie, but
It could
it
be a good
might
Marvel
be.
movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It might be just what I want out of the current phase. So,
Well, Alan, thank you so much for joining me. I really, you know what? I really hope people get that little Secret Wars discussion you had there. That's going to help a lot of people know, kind of prep them, even though it wasn't as detailed as you may have wanted.
yeah, it's been
There's
years since
still a
I've read
lot.
those books. Go read those books.
Yeah.
Like, get Marvel Unlimited for a month and tear through Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four. You know, Secret Warriors, Fantastic Four. There's a whole reading list out there. It's that Avengers, New Avengers, and then Secret Wars. I highly recommend that stuff. That's the best Avengers comic book. Fantastic Four is the best Fantastic Four comic book uh in years, and the Avengers, his Avengers run is like the best Avengers run since like Steve Englehart, like in the 70s.
Well, now you guys got some homework now. Alan helped you out there. Thank you again for joining me. Make sure you guys comment down below. Subscribe to Flickering Myth. Give us a thumbs up. Alan, thank you once again.
Thank you.